18 years of Fred Peterson, the mighty warlord. Hello and welcome, everyone. It is 18 years of Fred Peterson, the mighty warlord. That's right, 10 plus 8, 18. And if you all thought I was obnoxious celebrating my webcomic throughout the last couple of weeks, you ain't seen nothing yet. Because as I've said before, you have to be your own biggest fan if you're going to be your own biggest critic as well. And here it is, Fred Pearson, the mighty warlord. That is the latest update. Update this Wednesday. If my webcomic were a actual person, it would be an adult right now. So congratulations, Fred Pearson, the mighty warlord. Definitely have been coasting the last 18 years. Lazily doing this comic. But then again, other factors have come into it, like a debilitating car accident that left me on the shelf for the better part of a year. That the doctors didn't even give me a chance of going back to living a normal life because it was apparent that I was going to suffer from post concussion syndrome because the concussion that I had was pretty bad, on top of probably other concussions I had that were undetected when I was younger, either playing sports or just because I was a klutz when I was a little kid. Like, I fell off a lot of jungle gyms and fences as a kid, and hit my noggin pretty hard a couple of times. So who knows what's up in my brain right now? Yeah, let alone that I went through COVID twice, lost various people that I loved along the way as well. 18 years, it doesn't sound like too much saying it, but actually doing something for 18 years feels like a lifetime, to be honest. And honestly, it does still feel fun to do this web comic. And I just want to address a couple of things. Like, I'm making fun of the whole laziness thing because that's something that some people have been bringing up a little bit of late. And again, you can always tell when someone gives you honest criticism versus people that just want to like say something just to find a fault. Like, let's go to an example. Let's see, a good example of this is here. For example, you can see how it's blocked out some of the coloring with the purple-ish color. And that's something that's been done in comics traditionally, especially in the mainstream, when you kind of want to speed things up and you want to release something um, for a deadline. You kind of do that. A part that helps also get depth to the foreground, middle ground, and background. Also, it's kind of a way to cut corners in a way to, once again, not go too much into details, like having to color everything in on the page. It just helps speed the process up a little bit more. And another example, let's go ahead. Yeah, this should be the one. This page here, admittedly not my best page, but again, I've been trying to turn out pages as quickly as possible for the sake of the web comic. Because once again, there's a big difference between doing something like this and also publishing something. Because if there's something that I learned along the way these 18 years, is that you have to subscribe yourself to the train of thought of Jake Parker, uh, brilliant artist, creator of Inktober. Finished, not perfect. You have to finish your product to be able to push it out there. And something that I also learned along the lines, especially from Japanese comics, in other words, manga. For those who don't know, manga is traditionally published in chapters, almost like an anthology in magazines. And actually, I do have one of those examples right here. Let me just hope my ring light doesn't fall on my head and give me another concussion, and it almost did. I'm gonna leave that in the video. so people can learn from my death. All right. Take for example Shonen Jump. This is a actual Japanese Shonen Jump magazine. This is actually where My Hero Academia used to be published as well. You can see it's essentially a magazine slash anthology where mangas come from, which is why sometimes also you see like some pages are in color and then it goes into the black and white that most of us know. So this is like your typical manga chapters. And one thing that I learned from buying manga like this as well, and this is actually in the Japanese language, this one isn't actually translated into English. I really want to learn how to read and speak in Japanese. Bakugo. Actually, let me put myself. I'm showing this like that, and I should show it bigger. There we go. This is like a traditional Japanese magazine that holds the manga chapters as opposed to like a full volume of manga. It's essentially an anthology that brings stuff like stickers, like Demon Slayer stuff here. A very nice poster that has different Shonen Jump characters in it, almost like a crossover. There you see Deku, Naruto, of course, ads and such. So it's a typical magazine with manga chapters in it, in articles and whatnot. Then they take these chapters and they put them into these puppies right here. The more popular ones become their own volumes. And what I learned is that a lot of mangaka, what they do, especially further down in their career, like Hunter x Hunter, for example, they go ahead and they kind of not go through the emotions, but at the very least try to do the best at the moment to be able to get the chapter out in time. And then when they go from this massive magazine here to its proper volume, then they'll actually rework a lot of those pages. And that's basically my mindset with Fred Pearson, the Mighty Warlord, especially back then when I was able to publish the original prologue, webisodes, and issues 1 and 2. That's essentially what I did. Like, I went ahead and did the best that I could at the moment, even if it was a little rushed, but I wanted to hit that self imposed deadline so that readers can actually have something to read. And when I was going to do the physical versions, then if there was a page like this one, for example, I would redraw it and make it look a little nicer for the people that are actually paying for the comic book. And that's not to say that I rush it just because it's the free web comic. Once again, I rush it because I want it to be finished and not perfect. In that sense, a lot of times, sometimes I will like go back to a cover and replace it. Like, for example, let me stay right here, go to first on the arrow, and this is a cover that I did like 2012 ish to replace the original cover that I had done about 2005 2006. Let me go ahead and find that original cover as well so you guys can kind of see what I'm talking about also. Because if you go to my webcomic, you'll see that there's like comments referring to the old cover and comments referring to the new cover, which could be a bit confusing, but that's the reason why like I thought I could do a bit of a better cover. And since I was doing actual published physical copies, then I did that, went back and kind of put a nicer cover. Let me show you guys the original cover. that I had on the webcomic. It's an image that most of you guys have seen around quite a bit of Warlord. It's become kind of like one of the more identifiable images of the character. So you guys can have a bit of a better look. That's the original cover I had for the webcomic compared to the one that is currently on there. Which again, this one I did like around 2012 ish, give or take. And I put it on the webcomic just to like have a bit of a nicer cover back there. And there's one or two pages that I've probably swapped out as well for something that either looked a little better or maybe the text was a little messed up. So um, I put in a page with better flow in the dialogue text and whatnot. So yeah, every now and again I'll do that on the free web comic as well. But if someone is going to actually pay for a physical copy of my comic, I want to make sure that I'm giving the absolute best that I can do at that moment. You guys have seen the artwork for the actual remake of the um, book one prologue, and I must humbly say that it is a big leap compared from the original prologue to now, or at least the original prologue as it was published. Like maybe I'll do another like art video showing the progress of all that. So have I progressed as an artist in the last 18 years? Hell yeah. And even if I haven't, like, that's my problem. And as long as I'm still having fun and readers are still having fun and are still reading the comic, that's all that matters to me, to be honest. uh, that doesn't mean that I'm not going to put more effort into a lot of different things, because as I say, and as you've seen, I'm always like in that perpetual kind of um quest of growing, not just as an artist but as a person as well. And I feel like these 18 years have been of incredible it's been an incredible learning process. It's been very exciting and very humbling at times, especially humbling at times. And again, don't let anyone talk down to you if you feel like they're talking down to you without any merits anyway. I've always been the type of person, if you've seen, that I will take into consideration any kind of criticism. But when it comes out to like straight out, more like in the I hater kind of sector of commenting, I usually don't address it. The reason why I address it now is because, again, I want to be very honest in this comic book making journey, and everyone is going to get someone that is going to, for some reason, dismiss or not like what you're doing. Sometimes there'll be valid reasons. Sometimes it just happens. Sometimes people just don't get along for some reason, and stuff happens. And there are times where you have to just take the high road and whatever, and there are other times where you have to be like, whoa, okay, speed that back a little bit, rewind the tape a bit, and hold your ground. Especially if you're not harming anyone, if you're having fun, if people are having fun, it's not harming anyone. I don't see how the success of one person should negate the success of another, or the other way around. Somebody else's success or failure shouldn't reflect on my own. I'm not particularly out there looking for people to like be like, ooh, I want that person to fail because I just don't like them. You have to kind of stop that, because again, like, that kind of toxicity just keeps brewing inwards, and in the long run it affects you more than it does the other person, because to me, I don't give a fuck, to be honest. But again, every now and again you have to kind of hold your ground and be like, hey, you're saying this, bring receipts. I have receipts, here they are, this is my explanation. You like it? Cool, I cleared the air. You don't? Well, I tried to clear the air, you still have a problem, that's on you. I'm going to continue on my journey, and those that want to continue on that journey with me, whether to have fun along with me or to hate watch, you're all welcome. To be honest, like, it's YouTube. What's the most I'm going to do? Say, I don't like you're following me. It's more algorithm for me in the end. So, cool either way. So yeah, that's how you get by 18 years of laziness doing your comic. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you all next time.
How do you